Hey everybody, how's it going? So you can see here I've got sunflowers growing on loamy sand, and it's telling me the pH value, which is lime, is perfect. And it's telling me the nitrogen value, which is fertilizer, at 60 is perfect. Now check this out. I just harvested canola from this field. And check out the nitrogen value, 40. I believe this is going to be perfect for sunflowers. Just adding sunflowers planted straight up, no fertilizing. But I believe I have to plow it out first for sunflowers. So what I'm thinking is maybe I should plant some oilseed radish here. And then when I plow it out, the oilseed radish will act as a natural nitrogen addition, which I think is going to be better than straight up fertilizer. Fertilizer is a little bit sloppy, whereas oilseed radish is a little more natural. It's a plant, by the way, and requires pretty much zero cost, except for the cost of the seed. Now, I'm not going to plant the oilseed radish with fertilizer, because that would be way too much for the sunflowers that's going to go here next. Now, the canola to sunflower ratio isn't that great. You see here? It's at 0.9. But here's the thing. Sunflower is best grown on loamy sand. That's a bonus. Secondly, when I plant the sunflower here, straight up, with no fertilizing, after the fact that I first grind up the oilseed radish that was planted first, it's going to be the perfect amount of nitrogen, which is going to add another bonus to the plant sunflower because it was planted in the correct soil type. So a loss of only 10% is negligible and not that very significant at all. Very significant at all. I'm still going to have a nice sunflower harvest because soil type matters. Seed type matters with the soil type. The nitrogen matters with the seed because the planters and fertilizers in our game make sure that happens. But I have noticed if we add fertilizer to a seeder or a planter that doesn't necessarily need the fertilizer and we use it to plant a certain seed, some of it will fall into the soil and either improve or wreck the yield. In this case, because the nitrogen value is sitting at 40 right now after the harvest of the canola on loamy sand, that is going to be set up perfectly for sunflowers. And the best way to do that is to get it up to 60. Or 40 just might be good enough as it is. Maybe I should just leave this alone and wait until next year in the springtime when sunflowers can be planted again. That's what I think I should do. I think I should just leave this field alone, and I think 40 is the perfect number for sunflowers planted on loamy sand. Now you may ask, what if I plant sunflowers on sandy loam? Yeah, now you're talking a soil, like here's some right down here, sandy loam. Now you're talking a soil that's a little bit more enriched. As you can see, the nitrogen retention is at 60 here with the sandy loam, whereas the loamy sand, right here, you can see, it retained 40 of the nitrogen. So even though soil types may seem better, they're actually a false nomer. It depends on the seed or the plant that you plant, and the soil type depends a lot. But you must understand that our fertilizers distribute the correct amount, but they can also over-distribute if we're not careful. Their function is not as accurate like it used to be. The old way, we would plow out a field, it would give us 33% fertilizing. Then we would add the seed plus the fertilizer in the planter or seeder, and it would bring us up to 66. And then the last step was either add liquid fertilizer a couple days later, or add manure or slurry. And that was basically the best way the simulator could come up with a way to make it as realistic as possible. But now with precision farming, the game has changed. This mod changes the game just like seasons change the regular version of Farming Simulator. That's how huge precision farming is to this game. It's a completely different game now when it comes to crops. Everything you think you knew about crops has been changed. Forget what you know. It's all about nitrogen values, which is fertilizer, and pH values, which is lime. Now you may, for some crops, I believe after you've used a field maybe 3 or 4 times, what if we have to add 2 layers of lime depending on the seed type that we've chosen? You know, that's just maybe something that will happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's possibly a possibility where we have to add 2 lime applications after we've used a field quite a bit, where it does need all of that nitrogen. For example, corn. Corn needs loam, is the best for corn. But what if corn is also good on silty clay? Probably not, as unless it's very well drained, but you don't want to over-fertilize too. There is ways to over-fertilize in this game. Add way too much nitrogen. Or maybe add way too much lime. So everything you think you know about the old versions of seasons has now been changed to something more realistic, a lot better, a lot more challenging, a lot more fun. Now let's look, before I end this video, I want to show what has happened so far. These are the fruit types. Near the Frit and Fritz to the left is where the wheat was. That's been harvested. Near the 36 to the left of that is where canola was. That's been harvested. Let me show you. Wait for it. Now I've got, above the sawmill, I've got sunflowers. And to the right of the Frit and Fritz, both of those fields are all corn. And the reason is they're all corn is because it's mostly loam and sandy loam. Loam is best for corn. Sandy loam will work, but loam is your best bet. Canola, sandy loam is your best bet, but loam and sandy loam will work for canola. Sandy loam is the best. I believe loam is your second best for canola, and then your third choice would be loamy sand. Now, if I say sandy loam or loamy sand, I'm sorry if I mix the two up. It's really easy to do, but I'm really trying to make sure I say the correct one at the right time. Now, the pH values, that's your lime. Certain seeds, though, need a certain pH value, and I believe soybeans, from our research, needs about a pH value of 6. Sunflowers also, I'm not sure, needs about a pH value of about 6. So you see the sunflowers, not sunflowers, the canola that I harvested just now has left a nitrogen value of a 0 and a lime value, or a pH value, of around 6, which is perfect for soybeans. Now you may ask, how do I know that? Well, I've done the research. I took the time to actually learn about seeds and soil types. It took a long time. It's fun. It's fun to learn about that. And then when the corn gets harvested on those fields to the right of the Fritz, I bet you that nitrogen value is going to drop all the way to 0. Now, corn needs at least 180 to 200 to be successful. So if I wanted to, let's just say I wanted to replant corn there again, I might want to go with oilseed radish first, which I first need to, I think, plant or plow and then plant. I can't remember. But then oilseed radish needs to be plowed again to put it back into the soil, and in which case that would be just like plowing out a fresh new field, in which case the grass, acts like nitrogen and fertilizer addition. If you can remember the old way, plowing out a brand new field left you at 33. I believe that's what oilseed radish would do for a field if you're not sure what to plant next. So to prepare yourself for the next year's planting season for corn with the addition of fertilizer in the planter would bring you back up to 180 to 200, which is perfect for corn. So there is a planting step involved there, which was kind of like the old way of seasons, but not a lot of people used green manure. It just wasn't really that advantageous. It was just kind of a fancy way of doing things if you got bored. Green manure or oilseed radish wasn't really that important. But now with precision farming, oilseed radish now is back to the play because, like I said, this changes everything. This is a completely different, brand new way of looking at the game, and it's a lot better and more realistic, and I like it a lot. Here's the yield of what I harvested. Now I had wheat growing, and that was sandy loam and loam. You can see where the loam is, where the dark green, that proves that wheat works best in loam. Where it will work okay with sandy loam, it's still at 100%, but the wheat gave it a bonus and all the way up to looks like 125. As you can see the soil types. There's so much to talk about. I could talk for hours. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, see where the loam and the sandy loam. And then I show you on the previous screen where the yield was for the corn, the wheat that was harvested. So I just kind of wanted to give a recap of what I found out so that people can watch these videos and know what crops to plant on which soil types and to be successful at it. See here it says soybeans need a nitrogen value of 40, and that's okay. I'll bet soybeans would rather have a nitrogen value of 20. And this is all at 40. So if I wanted to maybe do an experiment and maybe plant soybeans here, I could, but I think the nitrogen is way too high. I'm better off planting sunflower here next year, not now, because remember, I am playing with seasons. All of these notes and videos that I've taken have to do with seasons. If anybody's watching this and they're playing it the regular way, your version of the game is going to be completely different. And maybe it's the same, I don't know, because I really don't play the regular version of this game anymore. I only play seasons only. So if this video is helping those players that are playing, they call it Seasons Light, or some people call it the regular version of the game, then that's great. But I really do not know. If it hadn't been for Seasons, I wouldn't be playing this game to begin with. And the fact that precision farming now has come along has made this game even better. Way better than it was. Here I have my straw bales. And I know I said this video was going to be not too long. But let's just take a look around here. This is just one plot 36 on No Man's Land, that I have shaped for the purposes of testing out precision farming. And I'm going to keep this map and continue to play on it and expand it, turn it into an even larger farm Maybe even a small city somewhere. Pretty amazing. Here's all the trees that I had to chop up. Clear out of the way quickly. All right then. Everybody, have a great day.